Hi everybody and welcome to the Easy Promotions YouTube channel. My name's Paul and today we're going to be going through how to find a decent supplier on Alibaba and potentially how to communicate with these guys and best practices and do's and don'ts and how not to get scammed on Alibaba. So here's Alibaba. It's similar platform to Amazon or eBay. You've got a search bar at the top, you've got a little image search here, so if you've got an image of a similar product that you found on Amazon or eBay, you can pop it in there. Big thing here before we start, we want to click onto suppliers, and today we'll look for beeswax wraps. Beeswax wraps are up and coming, they're like biodegradable cling film effectively, that's what people are using it for. So here we go. Beeswax wraps, as you can see in the top here, we've got 3 years. That's how long this company has been going for, the supplier. And if we go down, the reason why we picked beeswax wraps is, so we've got a lot of 1 years, 2 years, there was a 9 years and an 8 years up there. So we want to filter out these guys to be the better, the ones that we think are going to be better suppliers. So if we click on here, trade assurance, and we click on here, verified. Trade assurance is a insurance policy for Alibaba between suppliers and customers. It's not a perfect system. One of the big things is that when you're talking to your suppliers, negotiating specifications of your product, make sure you're either doing all through the Alibaba Messenger, although the Alibaba Messenger is a little bit pants to be fair, or if you are going outside the platform, going to emails, make sure that you, before you place your order or deposit or whatever, make sure you summarize in the Messenger and get them to confirm back to you, the supplier, just so you've got a record, because if you do have a problem with trade assurance, Alibaba will use that information from the Messenger and any contact that you've done inside Alibaba as their evidence to if they've scammed you or they've not given you a quality product like they promised you or anything to spec. Anything outside of Alibaba, they're very unlikely to care, to be honest. Verified suppliers, it doesn't mean that they're 100% a legit company, but it does mean that they're actually a company that has been verified as a company by Alibaba. So if you're an Amazon FBA seller, for instance, if you've got a business on there, you'd have had to put a utility bill in, something like that, to confirm that you are a real person, a real business and a real entity. And along here you can see best match, transaction level and response rate. I would always go with transaction level. Now, one thing that you will notice with Alibaba suppliers is the response rate. So these guys got 83.5% response rate. Don't be disheartened if you don't get responses from all the suppliers that you contact. As a Alibaba customer, you kind of have a metric as well, that you like a review sort of system as well. So if you've been buying stuff on Alibaba, spending thousands of pounds, they'll know that you're legitimately a customer or a potential customer, so they're more likely to respond to you. If you're just starting out, it can be a bit frustrating. I remember when I first started out a couple of years ago, my first product, it took ages. It weren't until I'd done a couple of transactions that I was able to go to a cheaper and better supplier, because I'd actually had some transaction rate and I was able to negotiate a better cost for my product. Now, the reason why we've gone for transaction level is because if they're doing a lot of transactions, then they're established and the transactions have gone through Alibaba. They're not just sort of like been privately paid, they've gone through Alibaba and through the trade assurance system. So we know that this company, for instance, in the past 6 months have done nearly $500,000 in transactions just on Alibaba. That's good. They've also been going 13 years, they're a verified supplier and they use trade assurance. We can see by the pictures, we can go into detail here and look at the actual products, confirm that they are products and the sort of prices we would be expecting. Take these as with a pinch of salt though, these prices that they've got along here, 100%. You've got other things that you're going to be negotiating with your suppliers, such as packaging, potentially shipping, designs. If you want a private label, your packaging, maybe you want your logo on the packaging for your product. So you want to be finding suppliers that have been going for at least 2 years, I would say at least 2 years, that have a decent amount of transaction level, or at least some transaction level. You don't want to be you know, if they've not got any transaction level, that would, you know, be a bit of an alarm bell for me, to be honest. But obviously you can see here some of these suppliers, they've been going 5 years, 15 years, 7 years. They've got high transaction levels, and you can tell that they're established on the Alibaba platform, so it's less likely that they're just, you know, there to scam people. There are some do's and don'ts that we'll be going through later in the video when you're talking to suppliers about what to watch out for. If we're going to, you know, we can see here, we already know that these guys do beeswax wraps, which is what we're looking for. This second company. So if we go onto contact supplier, it will open up in another window, and you can send a message to the supplier. You can attach pictures of, I would definitely attach pictures of what you're looking for. I've got a template here that I've already written out. So subject beeswax food wraps. Just be really polite, really, you know, be as explanatory as possible. If you've got a complex product, make sure you're adding, like, maybe, like, it doesn't have to be, you know, Leonardo da Vinci pictures, but, you know, you need to be drawing specifications, you know, measurements, and, you know, examples of what you're looking for, just to try and get it off to the as quick as possible. If they can't do it, then they'll turn around and say from the start they can't do it for you. So here we got hi, my name's Paul from Easy Promotions UK. We're looking to purchase beeswax reusable food wraps for the UK market. See attached photos. Our primary sales channel will be Amazon UK. We estimate up to 10,000 to 15,000 pieces per annual purchase volume after a trial order of 1,000 sets and samples for evaluation. So the way it usually works is you request a sample from a supplier first. You will have to pay for this. It will be, you know, I mean, for something like this, you're probably looking at about £30, which is what, $40. People might be put off by that and think, why is it so expensive when I can just get some? The main reason is they want to know that you're serious about becoming a buyer of their product. If they just gave everybody free samples, then people would just be asking for free samples all day, and they want to know that you're serious. You will get it quite quick. I mean, in the UK, usually within 7 days I've got my my samples if I'm paying for them. So here we've got samples evaluation. You probably want to get about 2 or 3 samples from different manufacturers and evaluate them. They might, you know, something like beeswax wraps, they're more likely to be exactly the same. But, you know, we've got to evaluate what's out there. You might find that one's cheaper and it's poor quality, or you might get really lucky. You might find one that's the cheapest and it's the best quality out of the lot. So yeah, here we've got a bit about specifications. So we're just telling them exactly what we want. This is a basic product. Be as detailed as possible. Yeah, here we've said we're open to design suggestions. The material, 100% beeswax preferred, but so like beeswax wraps, there are some other bits and bobs that they put into them, sometimes preservatives and stuff. We want them in packs of 3. Here, which is quite important, do you manufacture these types of beeswax food wraps? If so, provide the following: photo specifications and FOB quotation, so freight on board quotation. I always go freight on board. You can go EXW, but that comes down to, there's pros and cons for that. Maybe we'll cover that in another video. I always go FOB. It's more of an insurance policy for myself. FOB basically means that they will get it to port for you, and they will handle the local charges in China, and you're not taking responsibility of that shipment until it's on the ship about to sail. So if anything happens beforehand, you know, you haven't got to get it insured. You haven't got to worry about that. Are you a manufacturer or a trading company? Now, some people will say, "Oh, never use a trading company." I personally don't have a problem with trading companies. The way trading companies work is they kind of work like a broker. So they will get a load of different orders from different people, and they'll go to a manufacturer and they'll possibly get a cheaper price than you just going to the manufacturer yourself directly. They have a better working relationship. They're local. So, you know, don't disregard trading companies straight away. What's your lead time for samples? Now, they will have that on their product pages, but again, just ask them outright. It might be different. Their profiles might be outdated. Can we add our logo to this item? Or if so, where can the logo be added? So this is really important. If you've if you're doing private label products, you want to obviously have your own label on there, and obviously you want to know where the label logo can be added. What is the sample cost for shipping by express to the UK? So just asking about samples. And what would be the lead time if we were to place an order of 1,000 sets? Appreciate your reply. Thank you, Paul from Easy Promotions. Be polite, be professional. And with this, I mean, like if you've already got a template set up, just literally copy. I'm just going to ping it straight in here, add any photos we've got, and then send your inquiry. I'm not going to send this inquiry because I'm not really interested in beeswax wraps. That's how you initially reach out to suppliers. You can do RFQ, I wouldn't bother. It's a bit more, I'd send out personalised messages to each and every individual supplier that you think, like, so for instance here, I'd definitely do the top one, I would definitely do this next one, yeah, that one. So yeah, most of these suppliers are genuine. So I mean, we've got, you know, even if we've got 10 suppliers and only 3 of them got back to us and we got 3 samples from them, you know, we'd be well on our way to finding a decent supplier. So do's and don'ts when you're dealing with suppliers. So first things first, when you get replies from these suppliers, the one thing that will stand straight out is sometimes their English isn't great. Don't disregard them straight away, but what I would say is, how many of these questions here have they fully answered? If they've numbered these answers back to you, that is the best way to do it. Say like number 1, photo specifications and FOB quotations. If they're on it and they're a decent supplier, they're going to respond with, please see attached, here, our FOB quotation is this and our specifications is this, in line with your individual questions. You know, don't completely disregard them if their communication isn't great and they haven't really answered your questions. Maybe push a little bit more, but if they're not really getting, after a couple of emails to and fro, if you're not getting the answers to these main basic questions, then don't work with them. It's just, you know, they're not obviously capable of dealing with you. You want to make sure that you've got someone who's professional and understands what you want and what you want from a supplier. The working relationship that you're going to be building with these people could go on for years, so you know, you need to start off on the right foot, and if they're not professional and they're not dealing with you in the right way, then, you know, find another supplier basically. Next, obviously trade assurance. You will find that when you're talking to suppliers, sometimes they'll try and get you to just do private bank transfer. If you've been working with a supplier for a while, I've got some suppliers that I've been working with for 2 years now, and I do direct banks transfer. The reason why is because using the Alibaba platform, they have to pay fees. It's better for them, but always do your first 2 or 3 transactions over Alibaba. Over Alibaba trade assurance. If they say, oh, you know, it's better for us, blah blah blah, can you not do a bank transfer, just lie to them. Just outright say, even if you are just an individual person on running your business, just lie to them, say, oh, my boss won't let me, the company policy is that we have to do it through Alibaba trade assurance, and just be upfront with them. Say, look, there's some scammers out there and my boss is really concerned about that. Just, you know, try and be truthful with everyone, but a little white lie like that isn't going to exactly break down relationships with your supplier. If you ever do end up going to bank transfers and all of a sudden their bank accounts change and they're asking you to go into a different bank account or PayPal account, that would raise concerns as well. You don't want to be changing that. You want to maybe reassert yourself and recontact them through Alibaba just to confirm that maybe an employee hasn't like kept hold of the contact details of you, and then like they've left the company and then they've asked you to transfer the money into their personal bank account. It does happen. Scary, I know, but you know, be vigilant basically and be sensible out there. When you're getting your samples, they will want to possibly do it over PayPal, and then when you do your main transaction, do it through Alibaba.